Okay, going live in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I'm going to turn the volume down. I'm sure we have a live feed. The audio sounds good. If there's any problems, I do have the chat room up, so if you'd like to bring that up and ask a question, feel free. If you want to Twitter me, I have my mobile device here with me. I'll be getting tweets, and I'm also expecting a call from the writer Ann Smith of today's article, featured article, that we will be going over. Jen wanted to read that, and we had a great day, got a lot of work done. We had a couple drinks, and I thought, why not, you know, best time to go live is when you've had a couple drinks, you're nice and loose, you can talk about what you want to talk about and not feel all uptight about what you have to say. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm CIA James from Occupy San Francisco, also known as I Have Raw on Ustream, at Occupy One Liberty, as you can see on the screen there. That is my Twitter name, and I am the moderator administrator for independentcitizenmedia.weebly.com. I'm also working on another project, Occupy the Odyssey, in collaboration with several other people. It is, we do have a Facebook page. You can find that, Occupy the Odyssey, on Facebook, and check it out. We'll go into all that later. Right now, I'd really like to get started with one of the things at the top of the list here was in the last 6 months, we've seen a lot of police activity and military activity throughout the United States. Here in Oklahoma, we're near Oklahoma City, so we are near the largest Air Force base in the United States. Can you close that?
Yeah.
Thanks. We have a makeshift studio here, so we can bring you some live updates and feeds on the information that I have gathered through discussion of the general populace and gathering information from the internet. I'd also like to say a quick word about Aaron Swartz. Actually, I'd like to take a moment of silence for Aaron Swartz.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing.
Thank you. And to continue on, I know that was short, but I'm sure viewers are interested in what we have to say here. And Aaron is a hero by all means. We're going to be reading the article that Ann Smith wrote earlier and posted. I think that's something that really details information about Aaron and his patriotic duty to being what a true American means, you know. Back to what I was saying before, though, the extensive police activity and military activity has risen, and it has been noticed. You can find that information on the internet. There are people that are reporting it, and regular bloggers, citizen journalists, people that are basically the real news media today are reporting it, and that's where you want to be looking for your information, not on Fox News or CBS, NBC, bullshit TV. It's just like watching a reality show. It's all made up. It's just like wrestling, professional wrestling. It's fake. Football, it's fake. It's bullshit. It's all a scam. The stock market. Anyway, I wanted to introduce Rick real quick. He's going to help me out here. He's got a lot of information, I think. I really respect his opinion and getting to know him. He's very intelligent man, and I think that I'd like you to go ahead and start off on what you think would be the most important topic, something we were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what I was looking at was Monsanto.
Monsanto?
Yeah.
Yep.
And we were actually going to try to go to the Occupy of Monsanto, and didn't really work out.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I've been reading lately, I've I've known a little bit about them for a while, and that they weren't really a corporation that had the people's best interest at heart. I mean, they just, what I've seen is from Esoteric Agenda. That's one thing that I've watched, and I've looked up some of their history, and what they do is they pretty much put patents on seeds that it changes the whole DNA structure of that seed, and then they patent it, and if it lands on a farmer's crop neighboring, they can be sued for that. And they'll do things like that, and they've also, under Codex Alimentarius, that's a worldwide kind of agreed food rules,
Okay.
guidelines to go by.
Right.
What they were wanting to do is incorporate the recombinant bovine hormone into every cattle that we keep. Every sort of cow, every bull, anything that we have, they want to put this hormone that they've actually patented.
Okay.
So, I mean, right there you see they're trying to control food. By controlling food, you control the populace.
I believe that would take us back to a quote. There would be something similar.
Well, there's plenty of quotes out there that could probably fit that.
I was trying to think of one of the Rockefeller said something. I care not who controls. Somebody help me out here. Was it? You help me out.
Yeah, let's see if I can find
Thanks, man. I'm trying to multitask here. Keep an eye on what's going on. Who's chiming in? Got something to say. And we don't have any response yet in the chat room. I know I'm not as popular as Timcast, but you guys can feel free to talk to me. I also have a call-in line if you'd like. That is 510-969-0917.
Come on in.
Are we getting any calls?
Not yet. I just posted one number.
And this is Jen. She is my
Hi,
daughter.
Jen.
Hello.
Good to see you again.
Well, hello there. Let's get this party started.
I was talking a little bit about Monsanto and how they're trying to implement the recombinant bovine hormone into all the cattle that we keep.
Well, the most important thing that we can pay attention to when it comes to Monsanto is the petition to keep all of these seeds as, you know, their own. They can patent these seeds, and we can lose these seeds that our farmers have been working towards for hundreds of years to propagate, and then Monsanto can come in and they can say, hey, we tweaked this seed just a little bit, so that means it's ours, and we're petitioning you, the courts,
Right.
to say that this is ours, and if anybody has the seed that's anything like ours that
Well,
we can trace to ours.
You know, and with the corrupt legal system that we have, yes, that's right, I said the corrupt legal system, there is no way that somebody that has that kind of money and power would lose. I mean, the little
Right.
farmer, the local market guy, he's
Oh yeah,
done.
and they've been thinking about this for decades. I
Well,
mean, they've been planning and implementing.
You know, you can't own the planet. You can't own things. You don't own us.
Yeah. My actually have a family member, like a great uncle who worked for Monsanto, developing some of these things, and he eventually realized what they were doing and
Really?
and left the company.
Good for him.
Because
That's
he spoke up and they wouldn't listen, and he realized the moralistic and ethical reasons not go forward with what they were doing. And maybe at some point, we could track him down and
Sorry about that, guys. I lost the feed. Keep going.
yeah.
The camera keeps turning off for some reason. I'm gonna have to fix the tweaks on here. So your uncle left the company. He was working for Monsanto, and he left.
Monsanto, yes, probably back in the 90s, and
Wow.
he was
That's
a
quite a
chemist,
while ago.
A chemist who worked for them, and he realized what they were doing was wrong, and he left the company. And it's been more than a decade since then, and they've almost got a patent on, I don't have the exact figures, but I'd say maybe 30-45% of the seeds that are available to the human race. And that's just one company. There's also DuPont and
DynCorp.
There's about 6 companies that own about 90% of the seed that we're allowed to plant into the ground. And a lot of that seed they de-sterilize so that we can't collect our own seeds from it. And even if we did collect our own seeds from it, they would sue us because we are growing their patented seed. We're running the risk of losing our freedom of growing our own food.
And that's
it's going to be
what it boils down
owned
to.
by companies. You will not be allowed to grow your own food. If you find a seed, you're not allowed to grow it.
Actually, it's not that you won't be allowed to be able to grow it. It's that there will be no seed that you can buy that will produce another seed that you can grow.
Exactly.
Because they're making, seedless watermelons, for example.
Thank you. Yeah.
The plants become sterile after one generation, so you have to purchase from them. It's like what they've done to the water system now. Okay, here in Oklahoma, there's what I've found. If you remember the movie Aaron Brockovich, is that the name of it?
Yeah, that's the name.
Right. So Aaron Brockovich, I saw it once, and I remember the story pretty well because it was like, wow, you've got to be kidding me. The water table is poisoned. Here in Oklahoma, I do not drink the water out of the tap. Neither do these people. Is that right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't.
Because it is poisoned. It has arsenic and chromium in it.
Chromium 6.
Holy shit. Chromium 6. Okay. Now, you're locals. I'm not from here, so you know a little more detail on that. Can you expand on that from, we've done some research prior to getting here, and we were going to come in with all kinds of paperwork to give the people details, but, we've gone over it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Chromium 6 is deadly. And you know what arsenic is, right? How about this? Since you don't know what it is, look it up on Google and then come back with an answer or something, Get into the discussion because we're waiting for some people to come in here. There is one person that replied, there's a black screen. We're back live. I'm monitoring it. Apologize for the black screen. How about that arsenic and chromium? Can you tell me, what was it? Last time we found a report was 2010?
Yeah, okay, well...
That's 3 years ago.
Chromium can be processed by the body, but the body can only process it so much, and most of it comes in as chromium 3, which is broken down by the body to chromium 6. Chromium 6 causes tumors in the lungs and the intestines. There's no way to really judge how much chromium we're intaking because only within the last year and a half have they implemented programs of even testing for chromium 6. Even though Norman, Oklahoma claims that their chromium 6 comes from natural sources, there's no evidence that the amount that is has been tested in the water could be coming from natural sources.
We know that arsenic does come from natural sources, so that's why that's there. But it's
Arsenic
just-
and chromium both can come from natural sources, but they can also come from industrial waste
Right, well,
sources.
chromium, think of chrome, right?
Mhm.
So any factory that was building or using
processing
metal that chrome, then they had some sort of waste, and the chromium 6 is that waste.
Right.
Which, how did it leak into the water table? Sounds some derelict of duty to me.
Norman, Oklahoma was found to be at least 12 times higher than the next leading source of chromium
12 times.
in the water supply, and that's, I think, is very conservative. I think it's actually possibly even, I don't know, you guys need to look
I
that
know.
figure up,
That for
But,
the normal amount, it's 200 times the accepted EPA
Well-
amount at that time.
which is California's
Yeah.
0.06
Yeah.
parts per million.
Billion, ain't it?
Billion.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's billion.
Parts per billion.
Parts per billion.
Right? We're getting it.
Make sure you get the right facts if you're going to tune in, right?
Look it up.
You know, if you don't believe us, look it up yourself.
We're just citizens.
You got Google, right?
We're citizens here. You know, we're doing the best we can.
Well-
But yeah, it's parts per billion. 0.06 is California's proposed rate, and I think they may have gotten that passed. I don't know. Somebody will have to tell us.
Actually,
But,
there's parts per million, so you're right.
Parts per million?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were trying to do the math, but we don't have any math geniuses around. We're still looking for that person, so if you are that person,
I know people
definitely
in
let
the
us
Tesla
know.
Society, so I mean, as far as math geniuses go, they're not.
Yeah.
I know the
We
math
need
geniuses,
somebody
they're
who's
just
good
not
at
local.
exponents, because there's a lot of exponents involved in the parts per million, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out like how much you would ingest in an actual day, if say you ingested 12.9 parts per million chromium 6.
What would be the average daily? Would you say about 5 or 6?
Either
Eight
way,
inches
Well,
either way, the details here that I'm gathering from all the information is it's too much.
Yeah, way too.
It's
much.
way too much. It's dangerous. It's
Way
deadly.
too much, and we can't even calculate it.
And what does it do? What does it do to the human body?
It causes cancer.
It causes cancer.
We know
Another
that.
cancer-causing agent.
What else does it do? We don't know. Because
Well,
there's not enough testing.
Regardless, we know that the systematic powers that be have us on a system where we buy into it. We're basically a self-sustained slavery that continues to pay into their system so that we support them in all facets, and we have nothing to show for at the end. We die miserable. We die of disease and stuff. And look at the fat cats. They live into their 80s and 90s, and wait, do you see them looking like, like maybe they have a health problem in those ages? No, they're walking around, getting around fine, and they're 60s, 70s, and 80s. A lot of people are having hip problems, back problems, severe health problems because of what they've been eating. Fucking McDonald's, fucking Wendy's. We'll get into that later.
Hey, I got this. Does anybody know anything about Monsanto having an all-organic cafeteria
What?
program? Do they have an all-organic, non-GMO cafeteria?
Wait a minute. We were talking about this before. What? They
I
do have one, or
heard-
they don't have?
I heard that they have an organic
So Monsanto
cafeteria.
has an
I
organic
don't know,
cafeteria. They
but
don't.
That's what I heard.
Their employees don't. What kind of employees? I'm assuming these are probably like.
Chemists and
Oh.
Big
They
shot.
don't eat their own fucking food.
right.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
We need more investigators to go.
Well, we just need
inside
one of them to step
Monsanto.
up. Be the balls, be the man, step
Whistleblower.
up.
We'll protect you. You know, you've seen.
We can't protect them when the
We'll come
military
up
comes
with
and
the
grabs them
money.
the way they do. Look at all the deaths. SEAL Team 6 murdered
Yeah.
or suicide, as they say. How about we'll go back to Aaron Swartz, which we'll be getting to more details on here in a minute.
Bradley,
Bradley Manning still in prison,
almost 1,000 days.
almost 1,000 days.
No trial.
What is wrong with this country? Why aren't we up in arms? I'm up in arms. How come the rest of this country isn't up in arms? I know you guys are up in arms. You know, that's why we're here. That's why we're doing what we're doing. And you know what? I was looking at the feed, and I'd set the chairs up because the door was kind of in the way. Can you slide that way about 2 feet?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Just to kind of square it up so the viewers...
Yeah.
2 feet.
All right, that's good. That's plenty.
That's
Oh,
here.
wait. Watch the glass.
I forgot about that.
Yep. That's all right.
2 feet from the door.
It's just water.
No.
Water into wine. Jen, you still want to read this
I
when you
do.
get back? Okay,
Yes.
I'll let you read that when
I
you get
would
back.
love
In the
to read
meantime,
that. It was
we
beautiful.
will discuss amongst ourselves.
That's fine.
So, apparently there's nobody out there with the balls to call in. We do have viewers. That number again is 510-969-0917. That's an anniversary date if anybody recognizes it. It is a California number and it is a Google Voice number, so you don't have to say your real name. Just say, Anon or something. By the way, I do want to say that I support Anons fully. Rock on, you guys are the best. What else do we have here? We got all kinds of stuff. I could go for days. But this was meant to be a 1 hour broadcast, possibly 2 if it extends that long. It's been 34 minutes and I did want to get into that Ann Smith article,
Yeah, she.
and I'm going to go to that page and read it if you're not going.
Well, no,
Right.
I'd like to read it, but first of all, what's our
Smoke
address that
break.
we're broadcasting on?
OccupySFTV on Ustream. Well, you want the full address?
Complete address would be.
If you do not go into Google and type in OccupySFTV and look for Ustream link, you won't find it because you're
Okay,
stupid.
So we're searching for Occupy
SFTV.
SFTV, and you should get a Ustream link. Okay, where am I reading this?
Okay,
from?
so Factual News Net is in, and I'm good to see you guys. Peace. You're going to
Peace
have to
and
check the
love.
earlier half of this broadcast. This was a short intermission. I was just being a smart ass. I can't believe you don't know my station yet. Occupy SFTV.
I was
if you
getting
Google
the
that, you
full
will find it.
address.
I can't give you the full address. I can give you the short address. It's you.
I was trying
S-
to get the
Never mind.
yeah.
T-
About it.
R
TR
A M.
11OP.
That was a Ustream plug. Sorry. Rick, where
I'll go
are
for
we
that.
at? Where are we
I'll
at?
go
She
for
was
that
supposed
shit.
to be doing the article.
Okay, so you're gonna
I'd
do the
love
article.
to read the article. If
Can you
somebody
pull that
would
up on
give it
there?
to me.
That would just go to Facebook, Occupy SFTV. Oh, I'm sorry, no, that's the Occupy. You can find it on Ant Smith, Occupy the Odyssey, It's also been posted on Occupy San Francisco CA. That is a Mike Zint page from Occupy San Francisco. He is one of the camera kicked off. I heard that beep this time. I don't know why it's kicking off after 30 minutes. I think it's got some sort of setting. And we're back. It'll be coming back on. There you go.
There you are.
See, I told you I was going to be monitoring. Battery looks good.
Yeah, let's kind of add a little bit.
All right. So you have the article?
Yeah.
And bring it up to the top so that she can start with the.
Okay.
You got it. All right.
All right, and this is by.
Yeah, start at the. Read the beginning. Read the beginning. I love the beginning. The way she starts it. Her
Power
post.
to the People never sounded so good.
Yes.
By Ann Smith. Ann Smith News. Recently, I had the pleasure of interviewing an anonymous person who I think has set the record straight about what young people want and what the government should know.
No, go back. Go back the other way.
As our government becomes more oppressive, especially in the area of the internet surveillance, and he said, there will be change or there will be chaos. Amen, brother. It's about time. You know what your princes and princesses of peace and warriors of the internet. I have been at this a long time, and I have to say that after this interview, I had the most clarity about this movement than I have had since its inception, and frankly, the most hope. Relax. Get a cup of Joe and get to know Aaron 2269 and what I understand has happened and what will occur in the near future. Oh, and I'm also talking to you, FBI, CIA, government officials. Yeah, you heard me. And President, any other of the M545 misguided, out of touch, and truly ignorant of the upcoming generation, the makeup of government. That would be 9 justices, 100 senators, and 425 House reps. You have much to learn and a lot to fear. Aaron 2269 said Anons went underground after Op SOPA, of which Aaron Swartz was one of the founding fathers. We orchestrated a blackout considered the single strongest show of force by internet users to date. Thousands of websites went dark in protest of SOPA.
That's right.
Since that time, Anons have been working stealthily and silently in the background to confront what their generation, the generation of the internet, is sick of dealing with. Mainly, as Aaron 2269 puts it, internet surveillance and lack of internet privacy, he says. We thoroughly understand the internet, and we are willing to die for internet freedom.
Good.
And right, and to me, when
I'm willing to die for our freedoms. I'm willing to die for our freedoms.
Right. When he says we thoroughly understand, I think he means like we understand the responsibility of the freedom of the internet and freedom of information.
Freedom of information, exactly. Can I stop you there for a second?
Mm-hmm.
The freedom of information, is something that the Freemasons or the Illuminati have held on to for years, is the information, the knowledge, the know-how. And when they've been doing that for so long and they've got this little secret cult, I'm sorry, did I say cult? They have the information and the way how to manipulate. It's a matter of manipulation, and the masses have been manipulated to the utmost. I mean, the
What?
Federal Reserve, the fucking Fox News, fucking TV shows that are called real TV. You want to see real TV? Thanks for tuning in. Jen, I'm done. Go ahead.
What happens when a cult owns a large percentage of the money and power?
It's true.
I recently heard from a teenager in our community group that, you know, she didn't understand why, you
Gee.
know, there are so many people that harbor all this money, but
Hoarders. They're hoarders.
right.
I mean,
But they see all of
And-
the poverty on our streets.
you know, we should get back to the article, but real quick, you know, people that are hoarding money, they have millions and billions of dollars, are no better off, and I saw it on Facebook. Fuck you, Facebook.
We have to say
there's people that hoard cats and newspapers or you name it, and they have something wrong with them. But people that have millions and billions of dollars, they put on front of Forbes magazine. You've got to fucking be kidding me. Fortune, what is it? Fortune 500, Fortune 100. Of course, I don't know the names of them because I don't read that shit. Anyway, why don't you go ahead and finish that, because I really think this is a wonderful article and we've
Yeah.
digressed.
I'm going to skip ahead just a little bit.
No, don't skip
here.
ahead a little bit.
Just slightly.
No,
On
don't skip
January
anything.
6, 2011,
I guess if you want to
Schwartz
read the whole thing, you can see the whole thing online.
Yes,
Go ahead.
we'll have it listed.
It is posted, so if you want to
Okay.
read along.
On
Go ahead, Jen,
January
you're doing
6,
fine.
2011, Schwartz was arrested by federal authorities in connection with systematic downloading of academic journal articles from JSTOR. Schwartz opposed their practice of compensating publishers rather than authors out of the fees it charges for access to articles. Schwartz contended that JSTOR's fees were limiting public access to academic work that was supporting by public funding. So, you know, if we're funding the investigations, do we want to know what we're finding out from the investigations? Or do we not care and we just allow people to make their own decisions that are in
Absolutely.
office?
No, that's absolutely wrong. I want to know what's going on, and I think, you know, maybe when I was younger I didn't want to know, but then again I wasn't as interested then. But now that I know what the fuck is going on for sure, back in my 20s I thought something wrong here. And through the last 20 years, now that the Occupy movement has sprung up, I definitely know there's a problem here. Go ahead and continue on, Jen.
On January 11, 2013, Schwartz was found dead in his Crown Heights, Brooklyn apartment where he had hanged himself. He had been a victim of the unnecessary, unconscionable bullying by the Department of Justice, and Aaron chose to let them murder him rather than languish in jail for nothing that he considered as a crime. Along with that, I'd like to also say that whether he committed suicide or he was murdered, he knew what they were capable, what kind of torture the American government is capable of without being transparent about what they're doing. And that they're capable, because of the Patriot Act, to hold people indefinitely, no matter, or just on their own judgment without explaining it to people. One wonders why corrupt bankers who are enjoying themselves on beaches and in vacation homes with illegally gained tax dollars are languishing in jail or being bullied by the Department of Justice. The murder of Aaron Swartz finally pushed out the rage of new generation born onto the internet. And that's Aaron 269. It is not the authorities' world anymore. The 1% are getting old. The new generation is able to say that it is not your world anymore. You cannot touch us. We can do better. You have mismanaged. This is the youth of our nation. Education, war, healthcare, banking systems. And there, I was the interviewer, had the first real picture, real realization of what is happening. Young people, 3 billion of them around the world, are sick of the 545 that run the U.S. government and others like them in governments all over the world. They don't care about them. They don't serve them or like them. They find them old, ignorant, and in the way. Young people have their own ideas on how to run things, and they know clearly what they want. They don't want these 545 people that have been elected for generations just handing the position down to their children. Basically, hey, Mr. Rich,
Well,
I'm going to hand it down to Mr. Richer.
Mr. Rich. Well, let's use some real names. How about the Rockefellers, the Bushes, you start looking into the family history of the people that are in politics and how long that family has been in politics. The foundation that our country was built upon was that there was an equal and fair system. Now, how is it fair that one family continues to rule this country or another, and they're all in cahoots, and if they're not in cahoots, they're bought and paid for by, well, one of my favorites is the Rockefellers. There's also the Warburgs, the Rothschilds. Who else? Give me some more.
Rothschild.
Well, the Rothschilds.
They're the big
Google
ones.
it.
They're the big ones.
If for those of you that are watching, you probably already know this kind of thing. The only reason I'm doing this is because I think that it's a good idea to talk to regular citizens on a consistent basis, and I'll be continuing to do this until they put a bullet in my head. You cannot stop me. I will continue to do this until I'm dead. A patriot, American. I'm a veteran soldier. I did not go to war, but a veteran no less. There's something about growing up in this country and doing, the Pledge of Allegiance and saying that you will even defend this country as a child, more or less, in doing the Pledge of Allegiance. I mean,
we care
that's
about
very
this
patriotic,
country.
and I did do that. And I always thought there was something fucked up saying the word God and stuff, because I'm Buddhist, but this country has a big problem, and I think that what they're doing is they're molding the people, waiting for the right moment, because the rest of the world is already in revolution. Now, they just need to put their people in place, because we are the stronghold. If the country bumpkins and the country rednecks and the anarchists and everybody is all in line, which we are, the military only needs to do one thing: get in position first and then strike back. Why am I telling you this? Because I know. Why do I know? Like I said, I'm a veteran. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Because I know. It's an intuitive sense to knowing these kinds of things. If you look at history and you pay attention to history, you will know what is coming next. It is plain and obvious to the common man, or woman, transgender, gay, bi, whatever you want to say, can
Okay.
plainly see it. And all those things that I just mentioned, they're all friends of mine. I know every last one of them. They're all good people. Hi, Odessa. How are
Hey.
you doing?
Pretty good.
You were painting out there. Are you done?
Yeah, for now.
Yeah. Did you want to come in and talk for a minute? You got
Maybe
anything you want to
stay.
talk about? We did talk about Monsanto earlier, but feel free to, if you have something. No, you.
Well, where are we at?
Well, we were reading Ann Smith's article from earlier today, which you can check out later. I know you've been busy with homework and getting some art done. But we're basically just mid-show. Let's see, what time is it? Or mid-show. I mean, if it's a 2-hour show, we're close to mid-show, and if it's a 1-hour show, we've got about 10 minutes left. But since it's my show, I can go till I feel tired, and I can probably go 2 or 3 more hours. Just got to switch out the battery. Make sure the
Man.
video feed's coming in, and check the next page. And we lost the feed real quick. Oh, battery. Oh, not the battery. I thought I heard it beep. We'll be back live in 3, 2, 1. We're back. Okay. In the screen. Should show me we're back yet. There we are. Okay. See,
Alright.
we're back.
Okay.
So, that was bad timing. I thought I had it. It did have us. Did you have anything you wanted to talk about?
Not particularly. I mean,
I know you wanted to go to Monsanto this
yeah.
weekend or this.
But that's okay because being out of state for a while could put me at a disadvantage. And we have a lot of work to do here with the
We do have a lot of work.
water poisoning and
We've got the garden that we're getting ready. There's more people that are potentially coming in. There's a lot of things going on here in the commune or community. I'm at the Firewall community now. One of the locations. The thing that's beautiful about the Firewall community is it goes. I mean, you can tell me if I'm wrong here, Odessa. You would know better than me. But I think I see the way the Firewall community has kind of developed, and it has actually expanded from the San Francisco Bay Area to the Oklahoma City area, and has expanded, kind of like fluctuated somewhere. It's like that big.
yeah, that's the beautiful thing about communities, though, is they stretch as far as the people who are involved in them. So
Okay.
as long as you've got connections with somebody, and as long as you're always reaching out to someone, your community will continue to grow
Right.
and change.
And now, as far as the community goes, what's been structured here, you've been involved since its inception, right?
Mhm.
To where we're at now, I mean, I'm here as a guest or as a contributor now, part of the family, I feel like.
As a member.
As a
Everyone's
member.
a member.
Yeah,
Once you're here.
once you're here. And this is, like I said, this is one of the locations. All you need to do is get involved. You can go to the firewellcommunity.weebly.com and find that online, and feel free to fill out any of the forms and check in. Check it out. It's a really cool website. I helped develop it with the members here, and I think it's got a good start, and we hope to build on that. But like you were saying, that the community and the family, once you're part of it, and what is really taken place since the beginning.
Well,
I mean, break it down, or
it started out as an outreach to friends and family who were in difficult times, to lend them aid.
okay,
And basically food, a place to stay, anything they needed, protection from someone who might be threatening them. And it's really grown from that to sort of an exchange of ideals, and not only a safe place to be, but a safe place to plan and help others and enlighten people to the future of what's coming in this country and just, I guess, spreading a message isn't really accurate because it's not one message. It's not
Hello.
one person's opinion, it's a collective
Mm-hmm.
of everything that anyone can contribute to, as long as it's positive. And because of that, we've made a lot more. It's very, like, there's a feeling of solidarity, you know. Everyone looks out for everyone else. And it feels a lot safer than anything else I've really experienced in the past, and I'm glad to have been a part of it and be contributing.
Well, I tell you, I was really interested in when I first heard about it, and it's really inspired me to see that there's multiple people out there, and this one here has a good base going. There's a core group that has really good background in a variety of different technical, herbal, I don't know, spiritual. There's so many different things here that artistic, you know, come together where it feels really relaxed here, and everybody works together as a team and things get done. It does get stressful at times. There's a little bit of friction here and there, but that's to be found in any kind of normal atmosphere. But everything's worked out. There's no fights. There's no arguing, yelling, screaming. You know, people just talk to each other, and it's very open communication. I felt when I came here, and I still feel this way, is that it's a very open arm, loving community, something that Buddha or Jesus would approve of.
I'd like to think that, yeah. I mean,
Good. Yeah, no, I really think that the ideas and the values that have started here, or that have culminated here together, is a good start, and that with the birth of the new millennium and what's going on with humanity coming into a new, you know, we're leaving Pisces and we're going to Aquarius. Is that right?
yes.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. Just wanted to make sure. It's the changing of humanity that we go through every so often, and it is time. It's time to stop being greedy and taking for ourselves. We were discussing it earlier about the hoarding, people hoarding cats and dogs and newspapers versus hoarding money. When you got millions and billions of dollars,
Yeah.
and the manipulative control that they use to spin the media their way,
Yeah.
to
Uh-huh.
murder and kill for oil, gold, resources, things like that, and then poisoning the water.
It's really about control, you know.
Control.
Yeah. And
Is it-
they try and claim that somehow there's a vendetta against them. They're being prosecuted when we try and get them to be open and honest, and you know they have.
You mean like the Federal Reserve being open, honest, or the 1%, the Illuminati? I mean, when you say they, I mean that's a question a friend of mine, Pirate Mike, had was, who is they? We talk about
They is anyone who is not part of the movement to create the equality and the honesty and the open information that this new age, this new era needs to run on. Now, if you are not part of the 1%, not part of the elite, or part of those who are making this happen, but you're buying into it, you're helping perpetrate it. You're becoming part of the they. And so, which is why, another reason it's really important to reach out to people and let them realize that the government does not have your best interests at heart. It has their interests at heart. And you need to separate yourself from that and say, no, this is not okay, and I am not going to help you continue to propagate this system, and I am going to make a change. And that's when you stop being part of the they and start
Okay.
being part of the people.
Well, I like your definition. That's very well spoken. My definition of they are those that have the manipulative control and power to make the change, but don't do it. I would remove Kennedy from they, because he was trying to make change. I would remove Lincoln from they. He was making change. Now, I'm sure they all have their faults. We all do.
Well, we're human.
We're human, and I've known some people say that that's not an excuse. But
No.
but it is an excuse.
It's
But
not
it's-
it's a fact.
It's
we
a
are
fact.
human,
That's
but
right.
it doesn't justify our action.
No, it doesn't. Absolutely not. We if we know the difference between right and wrong, then we should know what to do. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Come on in. You want to join us? We're still going here. It's been a while. 10 o'clock. You know what we could do? We could archive this at the 1 hour mark, which is coming up in about 10, 9. No, I'm kidding. It's close to 1 hour. We could do an archive and come back for the viewers in 15, 20 minutes and have a smoke break. You know what I'm saying? Because me, I like to work on the lax system. You know, whenever it's time to relax, you relax.
Yeah.
It's been a long day, and I've got a lot of work done. I want to thank you guys. This is Odessa. She is 17, and I think that if a 17-year-old can figure out and know the problems of the world, then why can't the rest of they, them, you? Well, you've tuned in, so I think
Wake them up.
you have a clue. But for those of you viewers, I noticed a few just tuned in recently. We'll be back in about 15 minutes. So go have a cigarette, smoke a bowl, do what you do, and we'll see you
Listen
back
to
in about
some
15.
Dr. Dre.
Peace. Dr. Dre.
All right.
Thanks, Odessa. Thanks, Jen.